Hello everyone, it is Jazz here. Now usually today would be the day when I offer you my June reading wrap up, but I had to film this video a little earlier than expected, and I thought I would offer you all the CD collection video that I kind of owe you guys, because I usually try to do a CD collection video every month or so, and I missed the last 2 months. Usually I only talk about 10 albums, but today I'm going to talk about 15 because 7 of the albums that I wanted to talk about were all by the same artist, and I wanted to kind of offer a few more CDs other than just one artist. So I decided to do a few more albums today, and most of those are soundtracks or little oddities that I have in my CD collection. As usual, I have left the link to the playlist of all my music collection videos in the description, so if you want to see more about my music collection, you can click that link. And without further ado, let's talk about albums 51 through 65 of my CD collection. We've reached that time where I talk about the Tori Amos section of my CD collection, and I don't have all her albums in CD, but I do have quite a few. So I have Little Earthquakes, Under the Pink, From the Choir Girl Hotel, Strange Little Girls, which is a cover album. Technically she covered songs by men and put her female spin on the interpretation of the songs. Then I have Scarlet's Walk and The Beekeeper. And also somewhere in some other CD case that I cannot find because I'm still looking for CDs from moving 2 years ago, I do have her album Tales of a Librarian, which is a sort of compilation of songs from different albums that she did, and it's not really a best of, but she did kind of revisit some of her songs and do some different things with the production, and she put some B-sides on that album as well. And that one came with like a DVD of some of her performances and some other things. I do have the DVD, but I can't find the CD case with the CD in it, but I do have it. Can you tell that when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I went through a serious, not serious, but serious Tori Amos phase. I really enjoy her music now. I'm probably not as like super fanny as I was back then, but I still am a fan of her music and do really enjoy it. I have most of her early albums except for Boys for Pele and To Venus and Back. For some reason I don't have those, and I don't have many of the later ones, and I can only attribute that lack of those to being that I realized that I lose CDs a lot, and also that I started streaming albums, so I started listening to her albums in that way instead of like buying the CD, although I might get Boys for Pele later because it did get re-released in like an updated edition. So I really love that Tori Amos is a songwriter, that she knows how to play an instrument. I saw her in concert. She's like amazeballs. I believe the tour that I saw her on was the American Doll Posse tour, so it was from that album. And I really admire her talent. Her lyrics can be super interesting to analyze, but they are kind of fun to analyze, and even if you don't know what she's talking about in the song, it's still really fun to interpret it in your own way, and also just listen to the melodies that she creates. But I will never forget me and my mom trying to interpret some of her lyrics on one of her albums and just being like, I'm getting a little bit of a headache, but I'm really enjoying the poetry here. And of the CDs of hers that I own, I have to say that probably my 2 super favorites are her first album, Little Earthquakes, and then I don't know what number Scarlet's Walk was, but Scarlet's Walk is my other favorite. And I have the original cast recording of Broadway's Funny Girl. Gotta love you some Funny Girl, just some like quirky fun songs, those really good songs like People Who Need People, lovely. Gotta love me some Barbara and Don't Rain on My Parade and all that cool stuff. And I've never seen the musical live, but of course have seen the fabulous movie classic as well as its sequel, Funny Lady, although Funny Lady is kind of sad. Actually, maybe the end of Funny Girl is kind of sad, but I have to say Funny Lady is real kind of sad. Just saying, just so you know, in case you ever get a chance to watch it. But yeah, great awesome possum soundtrack. Next, we have music rough guide to Bollywood. Now, every once in a while, I get really intrigued with Bollywood music and think that it's really fun, even though I never seem to get around to watching any Bollywood movies all the way through. I just end up watching the dancing because I think the dancing in Bollywood or Bhangra dance is just flipping the bomb and fun. So this is just what it says. It's a rough guide to Bollywood songs, the kinds of songs that are in Bollywood movies. And I really do hope to someday watch some non-Americanized Bollywood movies because I just want to see what that's like and just get the full Bollywood experience. Then I have the music for the ballet of Romeo and Juliet. Complete ballet and 4 acts, and it is performed by the National Symphony Orchestra of the Ukraine. Really enjoy the ballet, really enjoy the music of the ballet. Just noticed that this is one of the 2-disc CDs in which I can't find the other discs, but I will find that second disc at some point. So yes, awesome Romeo and Juliet, good ballet, good music in the ballet. Next, we have a little bit of opera. So I have the recording of Carmina Burana, which is sung by the New England Conservatory Chorus, and the Boston Symphony Orchestra did the music of it. So I've never seen Carmina Burana live, but I really, really enjoy the music. I think it has a really lovely, cool vibe. From what I've heard, Carmina Burana is a opera that is a bunch of little stories as opposed to one big story arc. So there's a bunch of different kinds of scenes and things like that. And I really kind of like that element. It really comes through in the music, and it's very fun to listen to and read to. Someday, maybe I can find a cool video of this or see it live, but until then, I have the fabulous music. Then there is a CD that I totally forgot that I had until I just was flipping through, and it is the soundtrack for the Disney film Pocahontas. Pocahontas is still one of my favorite Disney films. Like, it's definitely in my top 5. A ton of my favorite Disney songs are in Pocahontas. Super hilarious story is that when I was a little kid, like, 8, 9, 10, I really loved to put together my own little performances, shows for my mom and dad and maybe like a friend of theirs. I had like this blue and this red light, and I would light the thing and I would like make tickets for it, and I usually would choose something from Pocahontas soundtrack to do like really dramatic moments with, or something from Oklahoma. It was like Oklahoma the musical or Pocahontas. It all worked together. It had a historical vibe. It doesn't sound like it worked. I costumed it and everything. It was a one-woman show, and Pocahontas played a big element in that one-woman show. I already talked about one Romeo and Juliet CD. I might as well talk about another, which is the soundtrack for the 1968 movie Romeo and Juliet. So you already know that I have the soundtrack for the 90s one, and if you've watched any of my previous CD collection videos, and here is yet another Romeo and Juliet soundtrack. I have always felt sort of torn because I really love the music in the 1968 movie, but I don't know that I really like the 1968 movie. It's just something about it. Like, I'm all for melodrama and like classic filmness, but there's something about it that I like kind of want to laugh out loud when like bad stuff is happening. I just don't know that that's a good thing. But I mean, it's not a bad movie, but I just think I like the music a little better. It's got some really nice like themes for the characters and things like that. Back to the opera-ness. So here I have the Broadway cast recording of La Boheme. So you all know that I'm obsessed with all things Baz Luhrmann, and this particular version of the opera La Boheme was directed by Baz Luhrmann, and I actually do have a video of the actual performance, but I have this fabulous soundtrack as well. Really enjoy La Boheme. It's a really nice, accessible, I feel like, opera for people that don't listen to a ton of opera, which I'm not like somebody that listens to a ton. I listen to some like light opera kind of musicals, but I don't listen to a ton of opera. So if you don't know anything about it, this is kind of a good introduction. It is also the opera that the musical Rent is based on. It's just a fun little fact. So if you want to like try out opera, Carmina Burana, which I mentioned before, and La Boheme are very good ones to try out just for listening. Well sung, well acted if you watch the DVD, and super cool. And now we have reached number 65 in the CD collection, and I have decided to go with Cinderella songs from the classic fairy tales. So basically what this is kind of a compilation of songs from a variety of different Cinderella musicals. So there have been many musical adaptations of Cinderella, and this one picks like a song or two from each of them and kind of puts it together. Now, while I don't consider like Cinderella my favorite princess or even my favorite fairy tale for some reason, I love me a Cinderella musical, and so I had to have this CD because this includes everything from Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella to my personal favorite, The Slipper and the Rose. Check it out, it's an awesome one. It does include Disney tunes and also songs from the lesser known musicals of Cinderella. And if you are a big fan of Cinderella, this is the CD for you. Those were CDs number 51 through 65 of my CD collection. I know there wasn't like a ton of variety in this one, but I still thought there were some pieces of interest in this, so hopefully you guys enjoyed hearing about the CDs. That is all I have for you all today. Thank you for watching. Bye!